First and foremost, man, what a game. Two good teams, really competitive. Really proud of our guys. We continued to fight. We missed some shots that we felt like we were capable of making in the first half, and they made some tough shots. And for our guys to be down 10 at the half, but not to panic, to stay together, and to fight their butts off in the second half. Really, really proud of them to be down 10, then to go up 10. In the first half, we had 0 offensive rebounds, we had 9 in the second half. These two guys were terrific, getting to the basket, making plays. We were trying to search for matchups, and they did a good job of attacking those matchups. And then, man, Will Jeffress came in, and just the spark that he gave us defensively, he fought. He fought. Like, he battled, he was physical. Coach Brown made a great suggestion in timeout on the under out of bounds. He saw how they were playing a play that we ran earlier for Bub, and it worked. Will did a great job of faking the handoff and going in and dunking it. So just really, really proud of our guys. He's a perfect example of staying ready when your opportunity comes to be ready, and he did a really good job. We got to clean up how we ended in the game. We made it a little bit more interesting than it needed to be. But really, really proud of our guys after losing a tough one on the road in the last few seconds to respond and to come back and to fight like this and beat a good team.
Ish, what was going for you guys offensively in the second half? 50 points. That was a big surge for you all.
Just like Coach said, we saw matchups we liked, and he had full trust in us to make the right play when we took advantage of those matchups. So I think that's what we did, and we did a great job of doing it.
Question for Bub. How do you guys not get frustrated in the locker room at halftime when the shots aren't falling? It's been a tough place for you guys to score here in this building. How do you guys remain composed and go out there and put up 50 in the second half?
Coach O'Toole actually made a great point before the game, and he was like, you got to have the utmost expectation in yourself and your best self and your teammates' best self. And we just kept repeating that at halftime, like, look, we know we're going to come out and be our best, and we expect each other, to be at their best. And I guess it was just a trusting, trust.
Ish, Will hadn't played very much over the past 3 games. How does a guy like that stay ready for a moment like this?
Man, all credit to Will. His mental strong. He sees the opportunity. His name was called, and he made the most of it. And we didn't expect anything other for him than to make that impact. So if you know Will like we know him, he's a resilient guy, and he makes the best with everything he does.
Ish, this is 4 straight games with 10-plus points for you off the bench. What has allowed you to really be so successful in this 6th-man role?
Just trusting my work. Me and the guys, we just put a ton of work into basketball in general. So just going out there, trusting your work, and I live with the results regardless of if it's good or bad.
Is it any different for you compared to being a starter?
No. It's basketball at the end of the day. Like, I'm just trying to help my team win. So that's what I go out there and do.
It's just a similar question to Bub that Bub got. What did you see? What kept the fight going? What was different this time that kept you guys going through the tough times?
We're just a connected group, honestly. Like, we came in at halftime, we addressed things that needed to be done, and we went out and executed them. And we had the utmost trust in each other to take care of their assignments, and we did that.
What went into you guys' defensive plan? Cam Hildreth is a guy who's made big plays for Wake Forest for years, averages 15 points. You guys held him to 4.
I guess just trusting the scout, trusting we go over scout way too many times, honestly. So just trusting the scout, knowing what a guy's going to do, and just having the will to go out there and actually defend it.
You played 40 minutes tonight, but you played really well at the end of the game. Where do you get that kind of stamina?
I wouldn't lie to you, say I work like a run, but I would say just like the will, I guess. I didn't want to come out, so it's like I can't show the coach that I'm tired or anything. Just keep fighting.
Were you tired?
No.
Good answer.
Guys, going back to Will just for a second. Were you able to, you're in the game, you're focusing on your assignments. Were you able to see how he was defending Reed down there? It seemed like it was just all energy. Were you guys able to see what he was doing and feed off of how he was playing?
Yeah, that energy was definitely contagious. Like, we saw him working, and as his brother, we have no option but to work just as hard. So that energy was contagious. That positive energy is just what sparked us, honestly.
Ish, there was a possession where you were on Efton Reed down low, and it was a matchup that they thought they liked. You ended up getting a steal. What were you thinking in that moment to try to counter a guy of that size?
Just like Bob said, the will to win. I'm not gonna say I wanted it more, but I want a lot from my team, and that play presented itself, and it was a positive one, so I made it.
Bub, how important is it to get a win in ACC play at home? You guys haven't had one before tonight.
Very important. Just because we got an amazing student section to come out there and actually perform for them, it feels amazing. Because they're always gonna be cheering for us.
Nice job.
Jeff, what was the defensive adjustment? Because I mean, Wake Forest offensively seemed like they were getting a lot of things they wanted, and then in the second half, it seemed like you guys took a lot of things they wanted away.
I thought we did a decent job in the first half. They made some tough shots. I just thought the competitive urgency in the second half that we had every possession. I just thought that really ramped up. The fact that we were able to make a couple of shots, I thought that increased our energy on the defensive end. I think guys had a little bit better feel of the game, of how the game was being played and things like that. I just think, but the competitive urgency, I would say, was the main thing.
Jeff, you've gone to Will to guard, dominant post players in previous games. What was the difference you think you saw from him tonight compared to recent efforts?
Well, I just think, look, he's played well when he's gotten into games. I know the past few games he hasn't played as much. That's why I'm really proud of him to stay ready. Will's a guy that he shows up every day to practice. He has an unbelievable attitude. He's an unbelievable teammate. And he was just ready. He has grown so much in his time here. And, last year, or didn't play last year, a couple of years ago, he wouldn't have physically been able to do that. The physical toughness and the mental toughness that he has gained over the past year with dealing with the injury, fighting through that, I just think that's why he was able to, number one, he stayed ready, he works, he's smart, not just defensively what he did, he was terrific, but he was playing a spot at the 5 offensively where he hasn't really practiced a lot there and done a lot. So the plays, being able, and he did an unbelievable job of setting screens. Like, it's something that a lot of people won't notice, but he was very, very physical in his screens, which allowed Bub to get downhill, get the spots, created that space where we were able to score there as well.
Is that a spot where you could see him getting more time at moving forward?
I could see him getting more time, just period. When you perform like he performed today, you earn yourself more playing time.
You talked before about how this team needs to play through physicality and rise to the level that other teams give. It seemed like Wake Forest was very physical. What do you think you saw from your team that was different than before? I just thought, again, we didn't give into it. We were down 10 at the half. We missed a lot of shots that we felt like we got good looks, getting the spots, and the competitive urgency maintained and went to a different level in the second half. Again, we were able to score in the second half. The ball went through the basket, and maybe that increased our energy a little bit. But right away in the second half, I saw that we were, the competitive urgency was there. Not that it wasn't before, but it was at a different level. We talked at halftime, and I told them, you've played hard, but it requires harder. We've been physical, but we have to be more physical. Like, this is what the game requires. And it's a message that I've been trying to get us to understand really all year, like what's required to win. It was great to see us come out in the second half, really all game, but especially in the second half, to go to a different level, to show ourselves that we can do that.
Jeff, you had basically seven guys play tonight. 3 of them played at least 36 minutes. Is that sustainable going down the stretch?
If it needs to be, yeah. I think we did something like that last year. So if it needs to be, yeah.
Jeff, we've seen a couple of times with Ish having big second halves and leading. Is he also one of those sparks like Will that does a lot of different things for you?
Yeah, I look at Ish, like, to me, he's a starter. And I know he's the 6th man and right now or coming off the bench, but I look at him as a starter. He plays starter minutes. He's in at the end of the game. He's one of our better players. He's someone that we really, really believe in, on both sides of the floor. Obviously, he scored today. I thought he was outstanding defensively as well. He's getting in better shape after being out, not just missing the game, but he missed practices. And so he's getting where he can now sustain the amount of minutes and being able to play hard all of those minutes. And he does give us a spark. And it's interesting. I've debated the past few games, do we start him? And, again, he's playing starter minutes. It is good to have that spark coming off the bench, and so, again, I'm not saying that it will continue to be that way, We just need him to continue to be really good in whatever role that he's in.
Bub and
It's an
Jay,
important role. It's a huge role for our team.
Bub and Jalen play a lot of minutes for you guys too, and it seems like they're responsible for a lot on both ends of the court. And Bub was talking about the scout tape. How mature do you see them in just the way they study the game to be ready for practice, let alone the game?
Yeah, I think all of our guys do, and those two guys, it's impressive for freshmen, how much tape they watch. Not just the stuff that we do, and we try to do a lot and try to give our guys a lot, but those two guys and other guys on our team do it. Like, they watch as well. They record games. They, of our opponents, and they'll watch and they'll talk to each other. Those two guys are roommates, and so they'll talk to each other about it. I'll hear our guys talking in practice about it. So, that's a pretty cool thing that our guys do that.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, see you guys.